Okay, so we're first going to start out with this foam board that you can get from the Dollar Tree for $1.25, which I don't know if it's any cheaper at Walmart or not, but anyways, you just need a piece of foam board. And I'm going to cut it down to a square, so I'm going to cut it 20 inches wide, and we're going to go 18 inches long. And I'm just going to use a really sharp cutting blade to do this. I'm going to measure it out and cut it, just like you see here. Okay, so once we have our foam board cut, I'm going to take a ruler and I'm going to measure four 4-inch sections all the way down the foam board, just like you see here. So you're going to have 4 sections of 4-inch wide, and this is just going to help give this foam board the faux look of wood. So once I have those lines drawn, I'm just going to take a sharp knife, and I'm not going to cut all the way through. I'm just scoring these lines so that there's a bit of texture to it. And this is what gives it the look and feel of a pallet sign. Now once I have that cut, I'm just going to gently bend the foam board to kind of lift those ridges up so that it feels like pallet wood. And now I'm just taking my fingernail and I'm just making knots in this to look like knotted wood, like wood would look. And you can it just goes right through the foam board. It's easy to do. And as you can see here, I mean, you can do it with your nail or a tip of pencil, whatever you want to use. So once I have all that done, then I'm going to take my Waverly wax and I'm going to go over each one of those knots. And what this is going to do is it's going to give it the real look of knotted wood, like wood that's been rotten or developing knots, I guess you could say. And I'm going to go over each one of these with the wax. And then once I have the wax put on, I'm then going to go over the lines doing the same technique. I'm just going to go over it with this brush on each line. And this, again, this is just going to fill in those crevices and it darken those up to make it look like real wood. Now to even get it more realistic, I'm taking some black Waverly chalk paint and ink, and I'm going to go back over those. And again, you'll see the outcome here in just a second. This is just turned out so good. I was so happy with all this. And again, I'm going to go over the lines to make it look like wood. How many times do I have to stress we're making this look like wood? And then once I have all that done, I'm going to take a paper towel and I'm going to wipe off all the excess. Okay, once our knots and everything has dried, I want to make sure those are completely dry. I'm taking some more Waverly wax and we're going to paint the entire sign with this. And I'm putting on a real thick coat. And the reason why I put on such thick coat is it's going to soak into the foam board and it's going to bring out this faux wood texture. And then I'm going to take a paper towel while it's still wet, and we're just going to wipe that paint off, or the wax. And you can see here how it's starting to look like that faux wood. And you can see where we painted all the knots and the lines with the black paint. And here it is when it's completely dry and we have all the paint washed off. Tell me that doesn't look like real pallet wood, okay? Right? So then I'm taking some cardboard and I'm just going to make a frame for my sign. And how you're going to do this is you're just going to cut 4 pieces. You want 2 pieces at 18 inches long and a 1/2 inch wide. And then you want 2 more pieces at 20 inches long and a 1/2 inch wide. So right here you should have 2 18 inches long and 2 20 inch long. And once we have those cut out, I'm just going to take some more of the Waverly Antique Wax. And I'm going to paint all 4 of these with the wax. And it's going to be the same technique. I'm going to paint them and then wipe off all the excess. And here's what we should have once they're all painted. And then once all that's dry, I'm just going to take some hot glue and I'm going to go around my foam board with it. And this is going to help hide some of those foam board edges and give it more of a palette sign look, because I like a palette sign that's framed in. And then here's what you should have once you have that glued on, and you're going to do this to all 4 sides. Now I do have some gaps here because I measured wrong or the foam board wasn't cut right. So I'm just going to take some wooden squares, which I was going to do anyway, and this is just going to help reinforce the frame and keep the frame on. And I'm going to take these wooden squares and I'm going to glue them in all 4 corners. Now these are alphabet squares, so I did have to go in with some extra paint and some wood filler to fill in those letters so you couldn't see them. So if you have regular squares, you won't have to do that step. So once I have all 4 corners, all 4 of those squares glued into all 4 corners, I'm going to just dry brush some white paint over this entire sign to make it look more whitewashed, like it's a whitewashed piece of board. Now I'm just going to take this little chick that you can get from the Dollar Tree. I love these. I'm so glad they came out with these. I'm just removing the tag and I'm going to fill it in with some spackling. Fill the hole in with some spackling there. I'll learn how to talk sooner or later, trust me. And then once that's dry, I'm going to go over it with some yellow chalk paints. It's called Summer Porch, I think. And I'm just going to give it 2 good coats of this yellow paint. And then once we have this painted, we're just going to hot glue it to the center of our sign. Once I have the chick hot glued, I'm going to take some Mod Podge and we're going to cover this entire project with Mod Podge. And what this is doing is it's preparing my surface for my Cricut vinyl decal that I printed out. And this just helps keep the foam board from being pulled up when I transfer it on there. So I actually made these. I printed out Spring Market, Farm Fresh, and Open Daily. And I'll put the name of the fonts that I used in the description box below. And like I said, I just made these on my own by using Cricut Design Space. So I'm going to transfer Farm Fresh on one side of this foam board. And then I'm going to transfer Open Daily on the right side. And then I'm putting the Spring Market up above the chick. Once I have all my decals transferred to my sign, I'm just going to dry brush over that, all of it, with my Waverly chalk paint in white. And then I'm also going to dry brush some of the antique wax over the chick. And this just helps bring the shine down off the letters, and it kind of just makes the chick look a little more rustic. Now to hide some of the cardboard edges of the frame, I'm going to take some nautical rope and I'm just going to glue that all the way around the sign. Now taking some more of that nautical rope, I'm going to make me a hanger for the back by cutting some nautical rope down, and we're just going to hot glue it to the back of the sign. Now I know the back of the sign looks really messy, don't worry about it, because we're going to hide that with some craft paper. So once I have the nautical rope glued down, I'm just going to cut some craft paper to size and we're going to cover up this back to clean up the edges. Once we have that done, that makes this project complete. Leave me a comment in the comment section down below and let me know what you think of this project, and don't forget to give me a big thumbs up. It helps my channel grow and it helps YouTube notice me just a little bit more. And thanks for watching, guys. See you next video.